And welcome to January 27th episode of Talk of the Tavern. The topic has changed because it seems like we're short women. We ain't got enough women. So instead of going with what makes you feel beautiful and sexy, though you could still tell us about that, we're going to be talking about traveling on a budget. Which it was originally traveling on a budgie, but the parakeet was like, tweet, tweet, fuck you, and left. I'm Travis, I'm your host. For everybody who's been here all day or the past couple days hanging out, this is what I keep talking about on Monday nights. This is Talk of the Tavern. So now I'm going to tell everybody my vices that I'm partaking of on the show. So I've got a little Henry McKenna bourbon there, and I got some Coke Zero, and then I have a... hold on, I threw the band away, so I don't even know what cigar I'm smoking. I'm smoking a cigar. It's good. Now, let me introduce the co-host, and Kevin will be joining it. What was that, Ed?
I said it's good.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you were growling, belching. Let's introduce Ed first.
Hi, y'all. I'm drinking my usual Naomi Pinot Noir.
Straight from the bottle?
I got a glass.
Oh, okay. By the way,
Classy.
the Witch's Door earlier was drinking some Pinot Noir. No, Pinot Grigio, I'm sorry.
Pinot Grigio, yeah.
Yeah. Any other vices, or shall we jump to Elizabeth?
No other vices.
Elizabeth, don't unroll that big scroll full of things that's your vices.
My first comment is hello everyone, but my question is I can't find us on Twitch. Are we sure we are broadcasting?
They're talking to us.
They're talking about us.
Oh, are they? Are we under Talk of the Tavern?
We are Travis Tavern Talk.
Oh, there we are. Okay, it finally came up. Hi everyone. Sorry about that. This is Elizabeth from North Carolina this week in the fabulous Arts and Cultural Center of the Universe. And tonight I will be partaking in Asheville, North Carolina's Highland Brewing Gaelic Ale.
Nice.
And it declares it's to be Asheville's first beer. And
Very
it's
nice.
quite delightful. It runs at a 5.5%. It's quite delicious. And I also have my favorite Wada somewhere over here.
Now, for those of you guys that have been joining me the past couple days, Pickle Lady, who you've seen pop in, throw bits, which by the way, you're the bit leader right now, Elizabeth. That's Elizabeth. This is Pickle Lady right here, who makes wonderful little movies with Pickle Man.
I do.
I don't know if it's the other half, it's just the other part of her. Now, let me address a couple comments if I may. Oh, look at Ed. Ed, thank you, man. Hold on.
Fix that shit.
X100.
Now let's raise our glass to this quote. More not for what you have lost, rather rejoice for what you retain. Here's to that. And that's a quote from me. I like to quote myself. I'm very full of myself that way.
I must be very happy. I retain a lot, especially water.
Water. Couple comments real quick. By the way, Ed, as you probably saw, Witch's Door says, that's right, Ed. White girl, that bitch. Toei says, getting a buzz click from someone's mic tonight. Toei, that might be me, because my wire apparently needs replaced, I think. Or it could be Elizabeth, because she's the tech issue queen. So, when I mute myself when Kevin gets in, if it goes away, problem solved. If it's not, oh, Asheville's only 2 hours from you? Nice. We got a lot of friends down in North Carolina. I want to do a quick...
Come visit. We'll party all night.
There you go. Start
Shake up
driving.
this town.
She's crafty, too. Oh, what is that? Somebody's throwing some stuff. Oh, Gary.
Pepper Garden cheered. X100.
Now you guys are both tied. Oh, with Elizabeth picking it up third. Oh. Okay, Gary. If we keep doing this, the hype train will kick in.
Hype train.
Hype train.
We should do that for Dillzilla. Start a hype train when I'm ready to broadcast it. Do you think we could broadcast it on Twitch?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. I would have to set up a special screen and probably run the movie here. Oh, there's
Not a
Ed.
problem.
Well, yeah, let's talk about that.
X100.
Let's talk. We'll talk. We'll do lunch.
There we go. See, Witch says if her husband wasn't on dialysis 3 days a week, she would join you. It's you don't have to disappear
Aw.
for 3 days, just overnight.
Oh, nice.
Oh, thank you, Witch.
You both can come.
You know what? You leave their personal life out of this. Um, we're not on that topic. We're going to talk.
Better?
Nice kid. Better.
I
More
do.
to come.
I do.
Stay tuned.
Hold on, I'm drinking.
Is that what makes you feel beautiful?
I thought I was retaining too much. Letting it go. Let it go. Let it go.
I still haven't seen
Actually,
Frozen
yeah, sometimes it does. It makes me feel better.
And better is beautiful. And
only
beautiful.
when he wants it.
That's right. Hi, Homer! Get another tough beer. Oh.
Yeah.
Ah, LibertyCon. I'm not familiar with LibertyCon, which.
LibertyCon.
Now, to tell everybody how this is working, if the internet is holding up, and it looks like it is the stream clean besides that little buzzing of the mic? It looks like it's holding up, I'm happy to say.
I gotta
Looks
tell you,
beautiful.
it's clearer than I've ever seen it in weeks.
It's because I put that 10-second delay. Made all the damn difference, apparently. Which we have
Yep.
citric acid to thank for that suggestion. That was one of the things I removed when we first started streaming on Twitch. Steve, good morning. Steve is like, I don't know, Zimbabwe.
Oh.
And I exaggerate, but he's somewhere overseas. You know, Kevin Land and beyond. I think you are, aren't you, man? Oh, way to redeem that pussy, Elizabeth. By the way, I want to point out, Elizabeth isn't joining us from her home tonight. She's joining us from the road in a hotel lobby. So she's actually
Yes.
in the lobby of a hotel with her big personality and her beers while streaming live and watching people walk by her and look at her. Australia. Very good, Steve. Thanks for joining us.
Awesome.
Is
What I
Kevin here?
do, what I do for those I love, what I do.
True story. So tonight is Talk of the Tavern. For those of you that followed the writing stream during the week, this is what we do Monday night from 8 p.m. Eastern to 10. And when Kevin kicks in here, I'm going to take off my headset and go back to writing, unless if I just can't leave because of the amount of personality that I'm just basking in.
The power of the wank is irresistible. Futile. Resistance is futile.
It is.
Oh,
That's
was
the
me.
front desk.
reservations, please.
Oh, I don't think we really have any reservations, Ed. I think you're in the wrong room, buddy. Kicked on WoW. Is WoW servers going down, Witch? There we go. There's John from Conquest Publishing, who's doing the covers for
Hey,
Silver and
John.
Smith, as well
John.
as Portals, as well as his own good stuff, the comics and whatnot. So, oh, yeah. It's a good night. Gary, it's a good night. Oh, look at John. Listen, we have a filter.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you kicked it on to play. I gotcha. Jose, welcome back, man. Good to see you again. This is our Monday Night Talk the Tavern, as you might have heard. I'll be repeating that ad nauseum. Yeah, I know. It's there we go. See, that's punctuation matters. It's the difference between helping Uncle Jack off a horse and Uncle Jack off a horse. But yeah, no, we don't have a filter. At least we definitely try not to. It's so let's see here. We're
Mine's
waiting.
in the shop.
It's all pure, baby. Just pure, raw, active yeast at Talk of the Tavern. Lumpy, clumpy, beautiful yeast. Oh, I didn't tell you. I got my first Mr. Beer.
Okay, first of all. Oh, wait. Okay, no, I got it. I made the connection. Mr. Beer is a home brewing beer kit. Go on, Elizabeth. I had to connect yeast to beer, but not really.
Yeast, that's what we feed. It eats sugar and it poos out alcohol. God bless yeast. Yeah, okay, I got my first Mr. Beer, and I will be starting brewing this weekend.
So, what
So,
kind?
My first brew will be a golden ale.
You make it sound so delightful.
By the book. If
Right.
I can get through it and have something drinkable, then maybe I'll start playing with it. But got to do it by the book first time out.
Now, where in the house are you keeping it? Because I know there's a certain aroma to beer brewing.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's what I have to read the instructions, and I need to figure out the temperature, what's optimal to keep it, because it's kind of nice and chilly in the garage right now.
Well, I don't think you can have it
So,
drop below freezing. I think it's got to be,
no, no,
45 to 65 type range. I think. Read the book, of course.
right.
Don't. If anybody else brews beer, throw advice in the chat here. Let her
I
know.
was gonna keep. I'm gonna keep it in my shower because I'm not using the shower right now. It has to
That's what
be
that smell is.
refixed.
Yeast.
Yeah. I can only lick so fast, so much in the morning.
But you're really limber to get your leg up that high.
You should see it. The cats are like, damn.
That's impressive.
They're-
You should hear it meow and purr.
it starts hissing. Back away. Back away.
Which
Yeah, so
Elizabeth,
I'm ready. I probably keep it in the bathroom, so if anything goes wrong, it's in a closed shower, so it's easy to clean up.
that's a smart
Yeah, I'm
move.
gonna give it a shot.
That's what I'll be
Yeah,
doing.
I love cooking. I love drinking. So let's try them both.
There we go. That's what I'll be doing if I ever brew beer here. It'll be in my tub in my office bathroom. Which, just so you know,
I
Elizabeth actually lives
sorry.
here in the state of Virginia, not too far from me, a couple hours drive. She's just visiting North Carolina for the day, or the week, or I don't know
Yes.
how long did they deport you there for?
Hopefully a day, but it could be a couple days
Okay.
for
Okay.
the additional tests and such. So
Gotcha.
we'll see.
Gotcha.
But
Yes.
I really feel inside I may have a calling. I could be the person, the American that actually makes a good Pilsner. And it's the most difficult beer out of any beer to make. But I feel I could do it. Not
I
this
feel
batch. It's gonna
Can I hog
or
this?
spend a lifetime trying.
Can I hog this spotlight for a minute?
Yeah, do
Hog
it.
away. It's
Okay.
your show.
Well, it's living in a place that could be radioactive. Things go bad.
Ah.
Let me just put this in my mouth.
If you give her a bottle, she stops talking. Um, who wants her baba? So, for those of you who are regulars here at the tavern and don't join me much in the day, the past few days, I injured myself at work. They sent me home for 5 days. I was bummed, so I decided to be productive. And man, has it worked. I feel great about what I'm doing. And that is, I have been attempting to write a full length 60,000 word novel in 5 days. By the way, so not hitting that goal unless if I stay awake from now to the end and write 1,000 words per hour. But I know I'm going to get past the halfway mark at least. And I tell you what, 6,000 words a day on average is not a bad average.
Wow.
Um, so I'm pushing for that and made a lot of new friends, which is what we're seeing here with Witch's Door and Jose and a lot of these other folks who popped in. The support from my fellow writers has been astounding. I have met new friends over the past couple days that I feel like I have known for probably 10, 12 days. It's incredible. But
Kevin in 5 minutes.
Kevin in 5 minutes. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Ed. Once Kevin gets on, I will sit down and shut up and take off my headsets and ignore everybody and try to write until I get so frustrated. It didn't go.
I love the fact you're writing. I found it. I pushed it on Facebook. I found it got me kind of I can't words.
Reinvigorated.
It got me inspired again on my own work. Sometimes you go through phases where you love it, and then sometimes you detest it and you don't want to get back to it because it's just a problem you can't solve. And I would always check to see if you're on. If you're on, I'd jump up and go join you, and that's why I always try to add every once in a while tidbits. And it's fun to see other writers out there working. People would comment on your show. I loved it. Keep it up. I hope
Thank
you
you.
can keep it up.
Thank
It
you.
got me going.
You
Thank
know,
you.
I'm going to keep up. Thank you. It's in all seriousness, no smoke, no sarcasm. I am just delighted by the support. And we have had a half dozen or more new writers join the Discord channel, and they're actually using these share your work channel, room, whatever you call them on Discord, and they're saying the same thing as you, Elizabeth. They're popping in and they're like, "You make me want to write." Which, you have a great night. Thank you for joining us all day and a little bit of the
Yeah.
show tonight. Make sure you
Good
do it
night,
again.
Rich.
Here. Here's you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lonely art. You're by yourself a lot. You have to be. It's expensive, you know.
Expensive.
It's fun to know others are out there working
is.
with you and supporting you.
It's
It's expensive. It costs hours of your life.
okay, and
company
time, yeah.
And time and
Oh,
attention
Witch
to other
says,
people.
I mean, I need to get going writing, is what she means.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's even
Right
better.
on.
Thanks for staying around.
Yeah, I love that you're hanging out and that you want to write.
Ah,
Because Elizabeth, like you, others have said, this is inspiring me to write more, Travis. Or, I've got this story I'm working on. And they'll leave me on while they're writing, which I don't know how they do that. Because when I'm writing, I can't have people talking because I get distracted. But I love that they can do it. And the ones that can't, they, like yourself, they pop in, say hello, chit chat, go write, come back, tell me a word count. It's a beautiful thing. I am fucking excited.
Yeah, it's cool. I turn the sound down when I say, okay, I'm going back to writing, but I leave you on. And I just can't quite hear you. I mean, if you were to say
Right.
Elizabeth, like a bunch of times, I would maybe, oh, okay. But then I dive back in and I'm swimming around. And then when I come up and, you need to sit back and have a break, I'll turn you back on and give you shit because you're not writing. Why aren't you writing?
Because you came on and talked to me, damn it. It's
You were talking when I came on.
Steve, thank you for
You were
jumping on
talking
Discord.
when I came.
Well, my voice does that to women and small children. Anyhow, awkward.
Makes them feel sexy.
They're not going to hold themselves down.
Where's Kevin? Oh my God. So
He logged on to Twitch.
okay,
I don't see him on Skype yet.
but yeah,
He hasn't logged into Skype yet.
I've been excited by
Nothing but spared no expense.
That's right. She's got it put up there just with a booger and spit.
Wait, let me put the clip on.
Yes, right. And I didn't say it was her booger.
Mm. Mm.
Oh, it's funny because I just watched it on Twitch and it's a great shot, like all down my front.
It moved too fast. She is
There we
literally taping her camera to the top of her computer. This is when us old people start to bitch that they're making technology thinner and thinner and you can't put stuff on top of your TV or computer anymore.
Dude. I didn't bring the little holder so I could screw it on top of this little tripod I have attached to his plastic lamp. I mean, this is high tech.
Can you say holder and all that other stuff again, but do it slow for me? Holder.
Holder.
And there's something else about clamping it down. I don't know.
On the base. Tape.
Wow.
She doesn't have real tape. She's so old she uses like envelope gummy stuff and got liquid fluff and then
I just know one day we'll be scrolling through the internet and these memes will come up like, oh.
it'd be us. Click that.
I didn't make out. The interview ended again. Way too quick. What the hell's happening?
But I'm getting other kinds of job offers that I'm not sure if I want to look at. Yeah.
If you're listening in on a phone conversation I had with a friend the other day, she said repeated to me, Elizabeth, please, don't you dare get into the porn industry. Don't you dare.
Wow.
They're
Some
looking
friend.
for... Speaking of some friend, here we go. Ah!
Bonsoir, mes amis.
What up,
Oh.
Let me do a quick introduction, then let Kevin tell his vices. This is Kevin, our friend from the Isle of Wight, UK, who's an awesome guy, and
Hi.
he can never show up on time.
Aw.
Is that a British thing or just a
Always.
Kevin thing?
I'm British. The show starts when I turn up.
So you're
Okay.
you're like a wizard then.
It has begun.
Why is your camera such crap tonight, Kev? Is it your internet
The end
or
of times is upon us. Huh?
You're fuzzy.
you got
I'm
the
fuzzy.
is the wrong
You're
camera
fuzzy.
up or is your internet shit tonight?
Oh, yeah, you
it
are.
could be shit internet. You never know.
Okay, probably is. I know so you have the same things. Not quite as bad as me, but yeah, you have nights where.
So,
To our fellow co-hosts and our audience, if Kevin looks fuzzy, drink more. It'll clear up.
can't
Yeah.
promise it'll help with the face, but
Yeah, once your blurred vision matches his crap internet, you'll be okay. Kevin, tell us your vices and introduce yourself.
hello, I'm Kev. My vices tonight will be a large bucket of black coffee, partly because I'm trying to stay awake, partly because it's fucking freezing outside. I will be smoking hand-rolled drum tobacco, and occasionally I'll be muting myself and munching some fig rolls.
Mm.
Is,
Yeah, you are.
is that innuendo?
Yeah, I will.
Can you show off the label? Show us the label, Kevin, of the fig rolls.
I can, but rather disappointingly, they're really cheap, generic brand co-op fig rolls.
Considering the pixelation of your camera, wow, those are great.
They do.
Yeah.
We couldn't tell. It's okay. Oh, there he is. Very Devo of you. Now tonight's topic, Kevin, has been changed from what makes you feel beautiful and sexy, because Elizabeth sighs. Oh, sorry, I
Time
really.
is coming on.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you would have just put us all to
Guys.
shame, beautiful. So there we go. No, because we only had one woman. I mean, not in our lives, here
Oh,
with
yeah.
us right now.
Who is she? Oh.
I said woman,
Sorry,
not
Elizabeth,
lady.
We said woman, not lady.
Oh.
Wow, apparently we're reading the same cue cards.
Great. Yeah, I was going to say
Jealous.
great minds think alike, then I realised it was me and Travis.
Fair point.
That's all right.
Okay, there we go. See,
Let's do this.
which is fitting right in. She's like wine in a coffee mug because I'm a classy bitch.
You go, girl.
And now I
Yeah, I love her.
am so torn between staying on and going back to writing. I guess I could use a 2-hour break.
Okay, I gotta ask you
Can't
this
do it.
before you bail out, Travis.
Uh-huh.
Because you have done this, so you need to at least share that experience before bailing out.
What have I done?
Traveled on a budget.
She.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Jonathan.
I'll open with this story. Last year, I happened to be playing on Google Maps, and I went, how far away is Philadelphia? And I threw it up on Google Maps, and it was 5 hours. So I went to Andrea and went, Philadelphia is 5 hours away. And she went, uh-huh. And I went, why don't we go for one day, not overnight? And her next day off, that I had a matching day off, we jumped in the car, drove 5 hours to Philly, saw the Rocky statue, saw the Liberty Bell, had a cheesesteak, turned around and came home. Other than that, another great story of traveling on a budget is I went to the UK to visit Kevin. Now, I found an airline, $500 round trip per person, so $1,000 airfare. We went over there, spent one day in London, traveled around, got some great pictures, went to the Harry Potter thing in the train station, saw this awesome tunnel full of graffiti, really just double-decker buses, all the good stuff. And then jumped on the train down to the Isle of Wight. Went on the hovercraft across the inlet, strait, bay, what is that called, Kev?
Water.
Water? Okay.
It's the Solent.
The Soylent Green?
Green.
I've heard what they're made of.
Yeah, kind of. Go with that. It sounds better.
And then we spent more than a week on the Isle of Wight, and Kevin put us up, which means no hotel fees, and I swear, including all the dumb shit that we bought, I think that whole 10-day trip cost $2,500. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. See, Steve is from Australia, so he speaks British. Hold on. Elizabeth has redeemed. Awesome, Austin. So it's going to be harder to do. Hold on a second.
It's gonna be hard.
So,
Yeah, well.
here's what I want to tell you. See, Kevin, Andrew and I started watching this new show, but it's a British show from 2009. I was wondering if you saw it. It's a really awesome British superhero show called Misfits. You ever seen this thing?
I have seen Misfits. Yeah, it was an E4 production.
Yeah, now I want to point out, first of all, kids dig it when you're into superheroes. Carry your comic book with you, just flash Superman, you're all over this. Oh, Steven says, I'm English, been out here for nigh on 20 years now. Are you unable to find a boat to go back? Because I think they even have an airplane that goes there once a week. I'm not sure. Peter Pan, Statue, Sherlock Holmes Museum, Alice in Wonderland store. My little nerdy nipples are getting really hard right now, which I just want to say
Too
that.
much information.
Oh, no, I got more because there's like a little, it's just a little down there. It's just, I mean, I'm not going to tip over a table, but, you know, I couldn't be a bicycle and not tip over like with the kickstand. I'm no Ed is what I'm telling you. But, yeah, chicks dig that nerdy shit now. They're all just like, you're gonna be my boyfriend's boss one day. How about I blow you when nobody knows? There it is.
I like Herbert better.
And we'll put Austin
But that hat
away.
is awesome.
Well, it should be. And, okay. So that's, I have definitely traveled on a budget. And I believe traveling, I get that, Steve. Steve says, I have an Australian daughter, so I'm here until I can kick her out into the world. But you've been there 20 years. What is she, like 30 now? Which in the modern world wouldn't be unusual. Traveling on a budget, I think, is better than traveling with limitless money. Now, I'd like to try that to see if I'm wrong, just to tell you that. But I think when you're on a budget, you search for more real things. Instead of paying $40 per person to get into a museum, you walk around the city or the town you're in. You pay $3 to get on the train and travel all the way across the Isle of Wight twice in a train car from the 1890s. You experience more. Well, I don't know, Kev. You correct me if you want, dude. I don't mind.
It's not. You're not far off. They're old late 1920s, early 1930s London Underground trains.
Okay. It's the same one. I think exactly the same one. It might have been filmed there. That's in Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock Holmes. I'm probably wrong, but anyhow, it looks like that. You know, the little cars with the bench on each side, and you sit across from each other. It's very cool. Steve, I got myself a 6-year-old. He turned 17 in less than 2 weeks. So what about you guys with traveling on a budget? Besides my joy of it, we could go into how to, or give me, you know what, Ed? We'll start with you and just go to Elizabeth and Kevin. Sorry to just take over Ed's show here. When have you traveled on a budget, Ed? Give us an example. Give us a story of traveling on a budget.
Well, you know my favorite thing to do is camp and hike. So
Yeah.
once you invest your $10,000 in your equipment, it's pretty cheap to do.
Not including the pull behind or what you're putting into dinner that night.
After that, and yeah, I've traveled to some pretty gorgeous places just to go backpacking or camping or whatever. Now, that is our thing. We do a trip every year, usually down through the Blue Ridge Mountains for about a week. And it's cheap because we bring all our food from home. We don't eat out. And gas in the vehicle. That's it. So.
And lots of beans for dinner. And I'm totally kidding. Man, Teresa, Ed's other half, she can cook.
She won't let me.
Oh, gotta stop.
She will.
Because you're sleeping in an enclosed space now instead of a tent.
True story. She wouldn't let me sleep in the camper one night. True story.
All right. You know, for $12 you
Was
can get.
she correct in doing so?
Oh yeah.
Ed moved 15 times that night to get away from it. So, what about you, Elizabeth? Give us a story.
I just recently tried Airbnb,
Yeah.
and I had a phenomenal experience. And I was in another country, and I paid $45 a night for a guest room
Mm-hmm.
with a refrigerator, air conditioning, and a lovely bathroom. And I may have made lifelong friends out of this experience, but I do like to travel on a budget. I tend to travel either visit friends or stay smartly, stay with locals.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely eat in my room. I'll go to the local grocery store and get. I love getting bread, fruits, and some meats, and that's what I sustain myself all the day. But I think it's also important to occasionally find that one place, spend the money and go for that one place that has great food. And sometimes it's not expensive. Sometimes maybe it's a little expensive, but definitely treat yourself.
Oh yeah.
And God, I've traveled so much. It's hard to remember. The recent one was Bonaire. The most expensive part was the ticket. But once I got there, you just walk everywhere. And when you walk, you're reminded to slow down, watch, observe, really get the feel for why you're there. And most of the time, you're there to really just meet people and taste the food and the drink there.
Nice.
Wine that you drink here, even if you drink it somewhere else, is going to taste different.
Gosh, I gotta stop drinking because I heard meet people and I was thinking taste the people in the drink.
I see you've been traveling with Hannibal Lecter
If
this
you
year.
think about it, though, when you're cooking, you are sloughing off atoms and your amino fats and acids, and you're putting your soul into it. So I guess in a sense, you are tasting people.
Oh, you know what? And if you hold him down and
Well done,
lick
Ed.
him, you are also tasting. So, Kevin, I know you're a broke motherfucker like the rest of us quite often, if not always. But I know you
Oh, yeah.
make generally at least one trip a year to Europe and Turkey and Greece. And tell us a little. Is that on a budget or are you
I
just
try
blowing
to.
your wad?
No, we generally tend to go for cheaper holidays, which is why we travel in Europe as well, because it's obviously a lot cheaper traveling closer to home. Although that might might not be the case soon.
Mm,
Um,
bro, yeah, I
but
was curious about that,
yeah,
but go on.
mm,
Yeah.
we yeah we'll normally try and aim to go for a large cosmopolitan city, but we do have a tendency. Elizabeth made a very good point. We walk everywhere. The problem is when you go away on holiday, because there's so much potentially you could cram in. Everyone seems to want to rush around from point A to point B to point C as fast as possible. Got to see everything. Got to cram it all in.
Yep.
I'd rather see 3 things and walk between them than see 5 things I went to on a train or a bus or a tram or whatever.
That is
Because as you walk
invaluable
the
advice.
streets, you see so much more. If you do a bit of research before you go, work out what's close to each other. What can we do in one day where we can easily walk without having to rush or without walking huge distances. You will pick up much more of a feel for the location and the people just walking along the street than you will flying by at 50 mile an hour in a train carriage.
And here's something I did when I went to the UK. We didn't plan it. We looked at one or two things that I printed out some information on, such as the train station with the Harry Potter trolley in the wall in the store. But in general, we did exactly that. Maybe we jumped on a train to go from station to station here and there, but we walked almost everywhere that was reasonable to walk to, and
Wow.
and it was fucking great. It's, I think to, if you want to go see the 8 Wonders of the World, sure, stay in the great hotel and bus right there or train right there. If you want to experience a different country or a different state or the next town over, yeah. And Elizabeth, by the way, I agree with your eating point with the UK thing. We didn't go look for the fancy restaurant. We went to the London pub right next to the hotel, which, by the way, what a difference in American hotels and UK hotels. But yeah, we went in the pub
Go on.
and we had a great damn meal of fish and chips. And I don't know, we went with what we felt would be more local cuisine. We didn't get a burger or a steak because we could get those here. And when you get some fish, which Andrea's allergic to it, but she fucking ate it because she wanted to. She wanted to say, I had fish and chips in London. It's well worth it. And also something we tried while we were in UK. the way we have pizza joints that deliver all over the damn place or Chinese places, Kevin has kebab places, which, by the way, is pronounced different in the UK. Kevin?
Kebab.
That sounds so southern. Couple comments real quick. Southern UK.
Well, he's good at that.
He is. Which
Each to
says,
their own.
which says pub food, love me some fish and chips. Steve says London is great for doing the Monopoly board thing. They have a London Monopoly board? And Jose says walking through the streets is the best way to know a city. I agree. And also, if you walk the streets, you can also make a few extra bucks on that side from the guy going, hey, but how much? Good walking.
Unless
Right.
you're in London, where if you walk the streets, you could potentially lose a
Right.
few extra bucks as well.
True.
I'm all about the plowman's lunch, man.
Is that a ref?
Can I break your heart now?
Good.
Shall I tell you the truth? The truth
No,
about the
don't do it.
ploughman's lunch?
It's
a
rap.
it's a fable created in the late 1970s by the British Cheese Board to sell more cheese to American tourists in Yorkshire.
But I still love it. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm not knocking it, but it's often marketed as, oh wow, this traditional British fare, and all the ploughmen are like,
No. I don't care. You call it whatever you want. I thought you were gonna say you can't get it anymore because of the health
oh no,
food conscious.
no, you can get ploughmans all over the place. Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Kevin, what's that British breakfast called where they give you like tomatoes and baked beans first thing in the morning? And I'm just like, wow, that's not a great idea.
Full English.
There we go.
Shits.
It's called a full English, and it's the breakfast of champions.
And a few more
What
comments.
I like about. Oh, sorry.
You want to go first, Elizabeth? Then I'll read them, or
Sure.
go ahead.
Why, thank you. Like, treat me like a lady.
That's
Which
right,
I
that
am,
is.
Kevin. You know, when you travel, you are away from the rush. You don't have to get anywhere in a specific time, unless you're seeing a show or something. You are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to take those moments to spend a day just being in a seat, eating tea and crumpets or whatever. Slow down, enjoy it. You spent the money. You're there.
Now,
Every moment counts.
Elizabeth, you'll like Witch's comment. Said sister-in-law said it tripped her out the first time she ordered pizza, and they gave her a 6-pack of beer to go with her order as an option. And Steve has educated me, saying the originally Monopoly was London-based. I did not know that. I thought it was made during the Great Depression here in the U.S. And he also mentions he hasn't had a decent kebab since left the UK. Australia just doesn't get it. And then Trin, if I can give a moment of attention to Trin. Here's to you showing up,
Hey,
little
Trin.
queen of the channel there. Good to see you, baby. Hope you're doing okay. Look at everybody jumping in. Go ahead.
Travis, you said earlier the next town over, and that's something we often do. We'll get in the car and play Let's Go Get Lost.
Mm.
And we set a time period, 2 hours. We're going to drive for 2 hours. And wherever we end up there, or close to that 2 hours, we get out and explore the little town. Find a place to eat, jump in the car. Good thing we got GPS so we can find our way back home.
Well, even when you're trying to get lost,
But it makes a great little trip.
even when you're trying to get lost, don't underrate the value of Google Maps. For example, we did this in the UK. We would just go to our phone. We had what we wanted to see, but then we'd hit Google Maps and expand it and see what's close to us. And go, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And we walk there.
Mhm.
Which says, friend of mine did the mistake of trying to tip a girl in the pub deep in Scotland. Once they calmed down, he didn't buy any of his drinks the rest of the night, woke up on an older couple's couch with no idea how he got there, and didn't ask what was on his breakfast plate that morning. God damn.
Was this in Scotland? Did you say?
Yeah.
Standard. That's it. That would be what the Scottish refer to as a wee drink.
Okay, I'm making a note to go to Scotland next time instead of Isle of Wight.
There you go.
Frankie Boyle was on he's a Scottish comedian in the UK, and he was on a show once, and another comedian was telling a story about the first time they went to Scotland, and he said, I got off the train in Glasgow, which is one of the two biggest cities, Edinburgh and Glasgow, They said the first sight that greeted me as I walked out the train station was a guy pissing against the door. He finished, zipped up, and then took out his keys and let himself in. Frankie Boyle, quick as a flash, goes, "It's unusual for you to meet the mayor on your first day."
Pepper Garden cheered. X100.
Gary, thank you for the bits. Here's to you. And by the way, something I want to mention in reference to the book.
That was no mayor. That was my father.
His father rode the mare to town. Anyhow, both ways. For everybody who is subscribed or subscribing, throwing bits, if you subscribe at Tier 1, throw 500 bits or more, or just donate $5 straight to the tip jar, I'm putting you in the acknowledgments of the book that I'm writing. If you go with a Tier 3, such as Ed, or do a $20 bit throw, 2,000 bits, or just donate $20, or above, I will write a character into the book with your screen name or your real name, depending on the things. Hey, Jacob. R-Wing is Jacob. He popped in. So, yeah, I just want to let you guys know.
Jacob!
He said the worst part was having to wait till they found someone who spoke English and not Scottish Gaelic. Well, the dog spoke English. It's, So for those of you supporting the stream, supporting the channel, supporting our drunken idiousness, yeah, you might be in the book. I might kill you off in 3 paragraphs horribly, but you'll be in it.
I get a blurb as a technical assistant?
If you
Or a
want.
technical advisor?
Are you going to... Oh, there goes Trin. Subscribing with 6 months. Thank you, Trin.
Yeah, Trin.
Yay.
Subscribed. Here's to you, but Heeey.
Trin, I'll put you in the book. Go ahead, Phyllis.
Funny quote I said in the car we were driving up. I said, I like children. I enjoy teaching them. I enjoy being around them. I find them very engaging. I really like children. I just don't like your children.
Now, was that directly from you, or are you quoting somebody else?
That was me. I was chatting with my mom driving.
Oh, okay. So you said you don't like your mother's
I do
children.
like children. No, but just people in general. I just
Fucking
don't like
siblings.
their children. If I don't like her children, I don't like myself. So maybe there's something there. I don't know.
Hold on, I gotta write Trin down.
Trin's not my child. Is she your child?
My love child. Hey, baby.
I'm not entirely sure. How old is she?
And where was her mother on the night of? If she was in Scotland, then there's a chance Kevin is the daddy.
Chance.
It might be me giving her the full English.
Oh, look.
Does that include baked beans?
The hype train is triggered.
Sausages, a
As
sausage
long
and
as
2 large tomatoes.
The hype train has kicked in. If you guys do all the things that it says on the top of the screen for the next couple minutes, it will give you guys... There it is. We got 5 minutes to throw enough bits to get you guys emotes. You get emotes. So just saying.
I don't want to get naked again.
Come on.
When we say cheer, we mean cheer in the
It made
stream,
me
not in
feel
real life.
sexy.
There we go. Very good.
Woman arrested in Durham, North Carolina.
Jacob,
Naked.
traveling on a
Hotel
budget.
lobby. Traveling on a budget. Get naked.
Well, Jacob asked what we're talking about tonight. So I was filling him
Good
in on
question.
that. We don't have a fucking clue,
I'm
dude.
busy cheering, Jacob. I'm busy cheering.
Hype train at 1%. Woo woo.
You're
That
welcome.
doesn't tell us how much we gotta throw in that bad boy.
No, it's at
I'm
1%.
cheering on a budget.
Considering it's at 1% with 20 bits, I'm guessing.
Oh,
Okay, so we're at 70 bits
I'm
and 4%.
pushing this train on myself. Oh.
There we. Look at that. We're up to 15.
YouTube cheered. X200.
That is very true. That's very true.
Yes,
Which, and if you do that,
unless it's a nudist resort.
well,
I'm not entirely sure I could earn money by getting naked while I was traveling. I could probably get thrown out of a restaurant without having to pay the bill. But I very much doubt I could turn it into an
That
earn.
works.
Yeah, works for me.
18% of the train.
If there's anyone that could pull off being naked in this group, Kevin, I think it would be you.
Thank you, Toey.
I know how to pull it off. Anyone who would have zero shame doing it would probably be me.
It would be like.
The
Jacob.
one benefit I have in terms of surprise nakedness is that I'm British, so as soon as I take all my clothes off, people are blinded by the glaring white flash and I can make a quick getaway.
Jacob and Trin, there is no shame in not cheering. Showing up is much more important than cheering. Cheering is bonus. And we're up to 23%, so no shame in not cheering. You just cheer everybody else on and tell them to throw bits that they have. There we go.
Ah.
And just because the train pulls into the station doesn't mean it leaves every time. There we go. We're up to 50%.
Oh, wow, we're
51.
halfway.
We're not gonna make it.
X500.
No, it looks like we need about another 500 to 600 bits for it to leave the station. There we go. Well, there we go.
Ah.
It's
This is gonna take
Cheered.
everything I
X100.
got, man.
Give it all you got, baby, or go home.
as long as it's not your beer money, Elizabeth. Don't cheer your beer money.
I got a drinking on a budget. Make your own.
There's Gary.
Make better friends. Make friends with alcoholics.
Yeah, because they get drunk enough they buy and don't remember.
Sure. Travel everywhere by train. Train yards is still a good place to find a high concentration of hobos and winos.
Yeah, is it still?
Oh, bottles and wine.
And Steve, you know what? I don't care if we make it or not. I want to, but I don't care because it's just fun
Pickle lady
playing
cheered.
with it. Thank you,
X100.
Elizabeth. Thank you, Ed. Hype on, guys. Hype on. So,
You've just summed up my... Travis, you just summed up my sex life for the last 10 years.
you cheering by
Yeah,
your
I don't care
bedside?
if I make it or not, it's just fun playing with it.
It is fun.
Oh, there goes Ed, pushing the train out of the station. Bang. We got 37 seconds to get more and raise it to a new level. There we go. I totally understand
Wow,
which,
Ed,
again,
rock.
look at that. Hold on, let's see what it does. Because I think people are getting some emotes out of this. We got one last time. It was like the not the caboose, the other end,
Yeah,
the
something
engine.
Weird.
Yeah, it was. Well, if you get like all of them, like if you cheer enough on level 1, you get all 4 emotes. So they, oh, see, we're already into the next level. And everybody got a new emote, I think. So let's see. Is there a new emote? I don't know. What do I do? Turbo or Twitch Hype Train. Here's the one we got last time.
That's the crazy bird.
Kevin's cock's head. But there's like 3 other ones that go with it. So we got 5 more minutes to fill that bit train. We'll see. That is adorable, Tren. There we go. Got a little
Oh.
Stitch holding his heart. Or possibly the heart of Stitch that he just tore out of her still warm chest.
Is that what she just got?
No,
Oh, that's
no.
So cute.
That's from another channel that she subbed to. And Trin, you just sub. Don't worry about the bits. The bits are all good. We hit it once.
Oh,
We'll
that's
hit it
right.
again. So.
Hit it
I
once, hit it
forgot.
twice. Hell, I hit it 3 times.
It's your sister's emote. That's an adorable emote. Tell her we said so.
Times a lady.
No, she wasn't a lady.
Not after he was done. Where'd you get the squirrel? I like squirrels. Nice. Thank you, Win. Thank you, Win. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Toy.
So, traveling on a budget. Here's my secret to traveling on a budget. First of all, don't pick out the crown jewels of destination. Like Ed said, with the 2 hour in any direction. And also, there are a couple books out there. Trin, I'll answer that in a moment. There's a couple books out there like Weird Virginia, or there's one for every state, or Atlas Obscura. And they tell you odd and different places to go visit. And it might be just like, oh, here's a dinosaur park where they built 5 dinosaurs out of cement. So there's places you can go close to you that you don't even realize are there because you haven't looked. And that's a great way to go. Or I took Andrea on a $4 date for her birthday. Now, just this past year, I repeated that and we took Elizabeth. We went to Richmond, went to Hollywood Cemetery, which is free, walked around. Now, I don't think we did this with Elizabeth, but then we went to the art museum, which was about 2 miles away, and that was free. And then we went to the Bird Theater that plays old movies in a theater from the 1920s that had been refurbished, and it was $2 a movie. It was a $4 date. And yeah,
Nice.
and luckily I'm with a woman who fucking loves that shit. She's like, oh my god, we did all this stuff. Yes, Elizabeth?
Sorry. Whoop, whoop. I was thinking about that, traveling on a budget. And, there's little things you can learn just by doing a little bit of research before you go.
Mm-hmm.
And in New York, you can go to any museum or any museum run by the city. And if you go to the register, the counter, and they ask you, you tell them a zip code. You just have to know the zip code of where you live, right? And they punch in the zip code.
Well,
and
I'm
say,
out.
How much would you like to donate today? Well, I just give them a New York zip code,
Go on. Uh-huh.
and you can say nothing or 50 cents, and they take it and they say thank you, enjoy your visit. And that's not necessarily terrible, but it certainly is affordable. And if you enjoy your visit and really appreciate the art, then that's an affordable way to go through your visit. There are sneaky things like that. There are ways. Just do a little bit of research or ask people who have lived there and just look around. And there are a lot of free things like you suggested and affordable things that are well worth
One
the
second.
time.
Hold on. Jacob, have a good night. If you pop back, we'll see you then. Otherwise, thanks for popping in, man. Carry on, Elizabeth.
Later, man.
No, man.
Oh, that's it.
You're right at the end. Here's something else I'll tell you. If you're in Maryland,
I see you coming, so I'm like, oh, time to wrap it up. All right.
I just want to say about it. And give me a second, Kev. I'll pass it right to you.
Is that what he looks like when he comes?
There we go. Level 2. If you live near DC,
It looks different on camera.
if you can't see what my hands are doing down there. Damn it. Hold on. If you live near DC, if you're in Maryland or Pennsylvania or Virginia, go to DC. Every single museum is free. The zoo is free. It's going to cost you gas and transportation if you take a train, but it's free once you get there. And Trin, I thought everybody was supposed to get the emote. What the hell is that thing? It's a Bigfoot.
It's Bigfoot? Yeah. I don't know.
That's it for JJ. It's an unkempt 70s for JJ.
So now this is my train that I've got so far. Oh, hold on. That's just a big...
Mind the gap.
Oh, I do. I should say, maybe I should say I don't mind the gap. So yeah, I've got a hairy bird, which in the UK is something very different than what I meant.
Indeed, an overly hirsute lady.
Wait, only the people who threw bits get the emote? Oh, I thought everybody in the channel got the emote.
Yeah, I thought everybody did. Cousin it.
It does look like Cousin It. I put googly eyes. Oh, by the way, I put googly eyes on my camera up here so I could stare my viewers in the eyes. And I'll tell you guys something else. Their eyes are
Does it work?
slightly uneven. Their right eye is much higher than their left eye, and they're kind of freaking me out. Trin repeated the question. Andrea is well. She's at work right now. Might join us before the very end of the show. We'll see. Now, we are 5 minutes...
Did Andrea show you those pictures I took? Oh, sorry.
She did. Andrea got a new tattoo. It's awesome. And what a great price. And what a great artist. Thank you, Steve. Steve knows what he's doing over here on Twitch, doesn't he? Good job, Steve. Thank you. There are pictures of the tattoo in Discord if anybody wants to see it. And I have scheduled another one for the 29th of February where I'll be getting some from Vet and then some from her father, Eddie. And I think I'm going to see if Andrea wants to get another one from Vet while I'm getting mine from Eddie. Well, that sounds dirty. But sweet.
I'll be there.
Anybody need a break?
I'm having a new one done soon.
Yeah, what are you going to get? Are you lighting the crack pipe?
So I'm having over the top of where my heart is. I'm having my heartbeat tattooed, and the first half is a normal human heartbeat, and the second one is a copy of my ECG from after my heart attack.
So flat?
Nice.
Yeah, well, a bit further. After
Okay. It's Kevin is our local zombie or our local Christ figure who came back from the dead.
Well, can I interject something here because it's perfect? Just because it's
no.
perfect timing in hot topic. Okay.
That never works.
There is a strong tendency in the never. There's a strong tendency in the men of our family to want to one up each other all the time. And I say we've all got quite a strong competitive edge, which my father demonstrated this week by also having a massive heart attack, but having 2 stents fitted. He's absolutely fine, by the way, but he's delighted because he had 2 and I only had 1.
Well, he's older with more experience. It's understandable he'd be better at this.
Does he smoke too?
No.
No, he smokes 5.
Although, ironically, I was a heavy smoker, which is probably a very strong contributing cause to mine. He used to smoke cigars when I was a very young child, but he hasn't smoked for decades. Yet weirdly, they put him on oxygen overnight and didn't me.
Oh.
I think they just took one look at me and went, "Fuck him. If he lives, he lives."
Yeah. I didn't want to scare your lungs.
We're not. Yeah.
This big old lanky body, that's going to take too much.
Into this one. Yeah, to be fair with them, the size of me, that's a lot of fucking oxygen to go through in one
It
night.
is.
Yeah.
Does anybody need a break? Ed, are we doing This Week in History today?
Yeah, I do have some stuff.
Excellent.
Let's do this.
Anybody need a break before the 9 o'clock hour?
No, I'm good for a few minutes.
Yeah. Well, for Kevin, you're good for another 7 hours before the 9 o'clock hour. Because, it's 3 a.m. there now. Wait, no, 2 a.m. 2 a.m.?
No, 2 a.m.
Okay, only 5 hours, not more.
That looked like a pretty beer, by the way, that you were drinking, Kev.
The Malt Smiths, it was, yeah. It is, very nice pipe. Yeah, light, hoppy, really nice, strong citrus flavour to it as well.
Nice.
Delightful.
Elizabeth, did we tell you about when we were visiting Kevin and we went into a chain and Steve says full English breakfast, keep heart surgeons and work the world over. And we went into a chain and they had the line of beers and we went, we'll try that because we haven't tried that in the other 6 pubs we visit. We're doing a pub hopping excursion. And Kevin went, well, I'll try an American beer. And he's like, I'll have... And he said, like, fucking Budweiser or Coors Light. And we, like, tackled him to the ground and said, no. Because they had Devil's Backbone from Virginia there.
Oh, no way.
Now, Kevin, do you remember your experience with Devil's Backbone?
I do. It was lovely. Really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad, huh?
I tell you what,
I really enjoyed it, yeah.
When I can afford it, I pick it up. When I can't, I pick up Younglings because it's a reasonable stand-in. Go ahead, Elizabeth. Sorry.
You know, I had Smart Mouth Lager the other day, and that's quite lovely, too. It's not bad.
Okay, on that
Quite
thought,
affordable. But
go ahead.
Devil's Backbone's gotten a farther reach, so yeah, good job, kid.
It's a reasonable beer, yeah. Okay, let's do this. Here we go. This Week in History. Rolling with the intro. Maybe.
Let's do it.
There it goes. That feels really loud to me.
This Week in History.
There's Ed with the emote I made for him. Shit happens. We also have one for Kevin, which says Kevin's favorite word. If you read it right.
I'm going.
I don't think you can because you're not a tier 2.
No, this is true. Damn you.
Yellowtail.
I deserve nothing left. I'm cheap. Yeah.
That's
We're
true.
talking about Chinese women now.
What? Yellowtail? I see what you did there. It was a Chinese woman.
Sorry.
So, so Ed, what happened this week in history, sir?
This week in history, shit happened, y'all. Okay, I actually got a history thing to talk about. Well, maybe
Ooh.
we'll talk about it. I don't know. We'll probably just say, Ed, what the fuck you put that out there for? January 30th, 1835. Always make sure to keep your powder dry. The first assassination attempt on a U.S. president. Richard Lawrence, an unemployed house painter, don't know what that had to do with anything, but hey, it was in the article, approached Andrew Jackson in the House chamber of the Capitol building, whipped out a pistol, and pulled the trigger. The gun misfired. Jackson got pissed off, pulled out his cane, and he started beating the hell out of the motherfucker. Lawrence got away, whipped out another pistol, pulled the trigger. The son of a bitch didn't go off either. Jackson commits to start beating him all over again. Aides had to run out and pull Andrew Jackson off of him. That's cool as shit.
That's fucking
That
Andrew
is cool as
Jackson, though.
shit.
That's an Andrew Jackson story right there. And I tell you what, the other President Jackson, he fucking kicked ass too. It's and
Of course, the media reported it as Jackson attacks innocent.
well, depending which story, which paper you read, yeah.
I'm still curious about how you could be an unemployed house painter. Surely you're one or the other. You paint a house? No, you're fucking unemployed. Sorry.
See, the unemployed house painter reminds me of when I tell certain stories, and oh, we're heading down the racist road, guys. If you mention in the story you're telling, the person in the story was black, before you even get to the next word, somebody's like, "Why does that matter?" And I'm like, because I wanted to. And the see, I don't know if I should tell the story now. I've painted myself into a corner here.
Tell the story.
So all my
When are
life,
you unemployed?
I might be. We'll find out in a couple days. When I go back to work, and if they're like, sign this paper and get out. So I bought. I've never had a flashy car. I've never had a sports car. I've never had a fancy car because I don't need one. I don't feel the urge to get one. But at one point in time, I needed a new car, or at least a new car to me. And I went out and I found a ruby slipper red, like that shit glittered, ruby slipper red Cadillac in like showroom condition except for one crack on the maroon dashboard. This thing had 250,000
Tapping
miles.
into your roots, huh, boy?
But when I told the story originally, I would tell people I bought it from an older black couple and they had like 5 cars, and by this time somebody's interrupting me going, why does it matter that they're black? And I'm like thinking, well, it doesn't, but it was a pimp-mobile bought by me. Little white boy. But it was the wife's favorite car and they took
Why does
really
it
good
matter
care
you're
of it.
white?
Privilege? Guilt? I don't know. Well, a large amount of debt to start with. Oh, that's Kitty. Sorry, Kitty. But yeah, that was a nice car. Till a deer jumped in front of it and totaled it. And when the guy came out to look at it, he's like, that is showroom condition. That is a beautiful car. And it was. It was the only car I've ever been kind of car proud to own, and the only car people have ever turned to look at me as I drove by. Probably going, what the fucking white pimp doing in that Cadillac? Andrew Jackson, yay!
That's a very American.
Getting it. You were getting it. That's what you were
I
doing.
was so not getting anything at
That's
that
quite
point.
an American thing to have happen as well. Have a deer jump out and total your car.
Oh yeah.
That'd be pretty. I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't happen in the UK. We have deer, but not many.
You have smart
They
deer.
take a lot of bodywork damage from a badger.
I wrote a badger into my story this week.
Did you?
Yeah, and a 2-headed bear. What else happened this week in history, Ed?
You
Segue.
really look good with your Dukes on girl. I put this in here because I thought we were going to be talking about sexy, but Dukes of Hazzard turned 41 this week.
Oh my God.
Oh my.
God. Look at her butt. Becky. By the way, I never thought I can't remember her name. Who played Daisy? Anybody remember?
Oh, gosh.
I never thought she was
I
that
can't
sexy.
remember her name. No.
But I tell you what, Jessica Simpson in the movie. Okay, a little different. No, says Kev. I used to
No,
play. Go ahead. Kev.
no, I was just going to say, no, not really. Really didn't do it for me. I'd have rather had the original Daisy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she was also like 7 feet tall, so it kind of goes with what your whole theme is. At least her legs were 7 feet.
Elongated.
Especially when you watch
Knowing
Daisy
the
and her. I used to play Dukes of Hazzard as a kid. You know, you try to get in your parents' car when they weren't looking and act like you're driving it.
Just
I
a
didn't play
good
Dukes
old
Hazzard.
boy.
I was going to say I used to drive my parents mad singing the theme music for about 3 hours after it had been on a Saturday afternoon.
That's it. Steve got it. Catherine Bach.
Yep, Waylon Jennings did the theme
Yeah.
music.
Well done, that
Um,
man.
see-
Yeah.
See, which I felt that way about Catherine Bach. And thank you, Toei. You got it just after Steve there. And maybe it's a personality, but...
Almost like their answers were bark to bark.
Ah! Well done.
Get my
There were
coat.
two Bacchus.
Ah.
Cat.
Did either one have the Bach to fill the cheats? No, anyhow, moving on.
I used to think that my parents hadn't let me allowed us to watch Dukes of Hazzard because it was too violent, and then my mother corrected me years later. She said no, because it was too stupid.
Fair point. She's not wrong. I like the movie, though. I like how the movie addressed the racism of the Confederate flag on top of the car.
Oh, I never saw it.
It's
Please
there's
stop.
this. See, they had the car repainted, and Cooter put the Confederate flag on top because he thought it was good. And then they go to Atlanta, and they're in a traffic jam, and there's like truckers honking at them and flicking them off, and there's like people yelling at them. They're like, "What the hell? It's the flag!" Catherine,
I don't know about the movie. Okay, when I grew up, 41 years ago, when this shit came out,
Mhm.
I lived in an all-black neighborhood. All little black kids couldn't wait to see Dukes of Hazzard
Yeah.
when it came on. We didn't care nothing about no damn flag.
Well, also, at that point in time, the Confederate flag was not racist,
Yeah.
and the show, as far as I recall, somebody can argue this point, I don't think the show, the TV show in the early 80s was racist, any more than our whole culture may or may not have been at that point in time.
No, it was about some poor people getting over on the man.
Yeah,
Hey.
yep.
Everybody can enjoy that.
The fat, sweaty, annoying guy.
Making their own moonshine.
Or making their own way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Never
Steve,
meaning no
how.
harm.
that's right. Steve says Catherine Bach is on the Young and Restless now, apparently.
What? Really? She
Have-
looked good in a pair of shorts.
Haven't you watched your stories, Elizabeth?
No, I don't.
No, okay.
I'm too busy watching your soap opera.
True story, y'all. What else happened this weekend?
Okay, you caught me eating.
I know I could talk about. I saw that after I asked, and I'm like, maybe I should say something else and give him a second. I can just talk about
That's all
something
right.
else till he's done chewing. Go ahead.
We have all heard by now, I'm sure, basketball star Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter accident yesterday, along with his 13-year-old daughter, other members of his daughter's sports team, and parents. It was 9 people in all. I don't
Yeah.
know if we've all heard the news story that followed with the little slip. And I posted the link there if people want to check it out. But anyway, news reporter refers to the LA Lakers as the LA Niggers.
Did he really?
Yes, she did.
She.
Yes, she did.
Now I'm curious. What color is she?
Blonde-haired white girl.
Oh, okay.
What does it matter?
But,
It matters
you
to the news story.
know, they're gonna make something of it. But anyway, I have a theory. Because you know how fast news reporters have to talk. They have to bring things off their mind really, really, really fast when they're put on the spot. There are 2 teams in Los Angeles, the Clippers and the Lakers. She was
So-
thinking Clippers. She realized she had the wrong team. Clippers has that hard P in there. Now, when you follow the alphabet, LMNOP, she got that P stuck in her head. She was trying to work her way back. She got to the O and she got tripped up. So she stood up and landed right back down on the N. She had to come up with something really, really fast because she's talking already. N, put an ER on the end of it. Nigger. That's the way it came out. Oops. Wrong word. She didn't make it all the way back to the L. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That is very
It's kinda-
complex and involves a lot of alphabetizing.
It's kind of funny because it's kind of accurate.
Well, we've all started to, like, we had two words in our head and tried to say one and got part of the other. But Clippers and Lakers, why didn't she say lippers? You know, why didn't she
Yeah.
say clitters?
Work with me. Work with me. Okay? I'm trying to be an attorney.
I like working with you. We'll just send her the clip of that.
If she'd gone with nippers, she would have got away with it here on the Isle of Wight because that's a local word for small children.
Right, right.
Well, there was another reporter fired after tweeting a link. I gotta look it up
While you're looking that
about Kobe Bryant's rape, being accused of raping that woman in that hotel room, and she reminded people of that and was immediately fired for doing that.
not the time or place, I guess.
Reporting the truths.
And if I may, real quick, Jacob, welcome back. Glad to have you back, man. And Trent, thank you so much. Appreciate that. You the bomb. It's like I said, I'll write your character into the book no matter what. Which says I live in some of the most racist parts of Tennessee. Older people are interesting. Gary says not just another dumb blonde moment. And clip that for the media, it'll go viral. There we go. Toey says I listened to it and it sounded like she said Nakers instead of Lakers to me.
I have to listen to it.
Did she call him
in,
nappy-headed
in a better
hose?
area than the hotel lobby that's full of people right now.
Hmm. 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 Have we tread on thin ice enough to move on, or we got anything else on this? And I will, for a clarity, for a footnote, for the covering our asses. Ed's allowed to say that word. I just want to point that out. Okay? Okay?
Why is Ed allowed to say it?
Because he's reading the news. Moving on. Why does it matter that he's... he's reporting the news. And that's why you're allowed to say it there, because, yeah. Ed, what else you got, man?
Go on.
Are we moving on?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I think so.
definitely.
Okay, I do have one more. It's a current event, and hang on while I try to read this bullshit because it's a recent bill proposed. See, it
Yeah.
can happen.
Yeah, you didn't even Wow.
Reinvigorated. Got it.
In the House in Virginia, and the bill reads as follows: if any
here we go.
person with the intent to coerce, intimidate, or harass any person shall use a computer or computer network to communicate obscene, vulgar, profane, lewd, lascivious, or indecent language, or make any suggestion or proposal of an obscene nature, or threaten any illegal or immoral act, is guilty of a Class 1 misdemeanor. A violation of this section may be prosecuted in the jurisdiction of which the communication was made or received, or in the city of Richmond, if the person subjected to the act of one of the following officials or employees of the Commonwealth: the governor, lieutenant governor, blah, 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 elected officials. That
Does
means
that
I
mean
can't
our
say the
show
governor's
is-
an asshole.
Oh, I thought it meant you
Does
couldn't
that mean our
send
show
dick
is
pics.
over? Are we canceled?
What's that, Travis?
I thought it just meant you weren't allowed to send dick pics anymore. Oh wait, you can't send them to them anymore.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'd just like to say for the record that your governor is an asshole. Come get me.
Still
Elizabeth.
trying to get that trip to the U.S.
Come on, extradite me.
Who determines what is rude, lewd, or lascivious? Who is this
Normally my
person or
Facebook feed.
panel?
Apparently, none of us on this show.
It's all right. What if you're entertaining and you're rude, lewd, and lascivious? I just want to say that. I almost want to have
Okay.
that on a T-shirt.
You know, nobody
Rude,
can wear
lewd.
blackface anymore. Okay. Which, for anybody not in Virginia, our governor, they found a picture of him from college in blackface, and shit blew up.
Was that him or was he in the hood?
He never. Doesn't matter. He never
We
admitted
never
it.
determined that.
John, you have a good night, sir. And Toei says our Virginia overlords
John.
are so afraid of us now, it's ridiculous. And honestly,
Careful, Toy. That'll get you arrested.
it took so many big words that you just said. I lost track of what the hell we were talking about by the time you got to the end. Budget travel for Kevin. She ain't wrong. Yes, Elizabeth?
They want to disarm us physically, and verbally, and mentally. That's it. That's what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And electronically. Because that's what it was. Like, you can't send them a
Oh,
message
electronic.
going jerkhead, poopy head, dork, monkey, wanker. Is that what it... Now, is this for anybody in Virginia or just our officials?
Anybody in Virginia, but especially against our officials.
Oh, okay.
It'll be prosecuted in Richmond.
Oh.
Oh.
The first thing that occurred to me when you started reading that, Ed, is it sounds like someone's trying to pass a law to just arrest everybody on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You name me one person who hasn't, at some point on the internet, been rude, lewd, lascivious, sent threatening behaviour, claimed they were going to commit a crime. That's every post I make
Every
25 times a day.
I can't think of a day I've gone I haven't been rude, lewd, crude,
If that-
lascivious.
If that kind of behaviour is going to get you arrested, there are memes on my Facebook page right now that will get me sent to a fucking black site and I will never be seen again.
Why has it got to be black?
Yeah.
White site doesn't sound quite so threatening.
Steve says, so you can get prosecuted for sending the eggplant emote?
Oh, Johan.
Okay, and for Trin, we're going to do this.
Oh. Hello.
Yeah, I think the eggplant thing, instead of that, you should send the sausage, because Groundhog's Day is all about the sausage. Now let me explain to you. You see, Groundhog's Day is a wonderful underrated holiday in the United States. That's where all you people live that cannot swear at your governor no more. And on Groundhog's Day, the traditional gift to give to people that you love, or perhaps your governor, is sausage. And the reason you give sausage on Groundhog's Day is because sausage is groundhog. You see what I did there? It's very funny. You can laugh. You go. Yeah, it's a very good. Thank you. Thank you. Groundhog.
Jawohl. Jawohl. Sehr gut.
So I do not think I can send.
Sounds Schwein.
It is. It's Schweinberger. It's just do not send the Arnold
Sehr
Schwarzenegger.
gut.
What?
We can't hear you.
Me?
You.
Mhm.
I do not know
I think your
why.
microphone's too low. Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
There it goes,
We can
yeah.
hear you.
I did not realize the fez was on top of the hat. This is not my fez, I swear. This is my jock strap.
Oh. Ouch.
Yep. Oh, you're
Sorry,
welcome.
You can't be arrested for it if it's a first offence.
Oh, it's very good. I think you might
So-
think you're funny. Yeah.
That's interesting, Ed. Isn't that encroaching on the First Amendment?
What do we care in Virginia? What the Constitution mean to us anymore?
It means
I
a lot.
mean,
Mm.
truly, if you're typing something on the internet, you're not yelling at someone. You're not saying it within their physical vicinity. You're not. I mean, to threaten someone, I don't know. I mean, there has to be a reasonable assumption of, violence. It just seems like, uh-oh, I scared Kevin off with logic and reason. That'll get you.
Yeah, every time. I have to pee now because of that.
Go pee. Pee in your heart. In your little jock heart.
In
Pee
my-
right there.
In my little hosen. And by the way, Wayne, you're very welcome for
pee.
the card. I'm glad you like it. And Trin says, I sent more money because of your key hype. I know how it feels to not be able to go to work. Oh, thank you, my heart. It is beating, and I'm not dead yet because of you. And then Toby says, I like how the crap our governor is
War of
inflicting on
northern
us.
aggression.
Interesting. Oh, wow.
Repeat that, Travis.
Well, thank you, Trin. Looks like Trin is... Trin, just so you know, because of your kindness there, you are in the lead for being contacted to name the big villain in the book. So start thinking about it. Elizabeth just caught up to John leaving. It's, See, the person who shows the most support over these 5 days where I'm writing the book gets... I will approach him for suggestions on the name of the big villain in the book. So, yeah. Yeah, Trin is in the lead right now. Okay.
Oh yeah, and Toei reminded me. Yeah, thanks for the Groundhog Day card. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I don't do holidays, but the Groundhog Day card, that was appropriate. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my
By the
thought.
way, Kevin, Ed, I'm sorry.
No, go on. Go ahead.
Ed, I don't have your address.
Oh, we
I
can fix
sent
that.
you a text. Yeah, send me a text, and
And
I
Andrew,
wanted to send you a Christmas card. You would really want this Christmas card.
even in April. It's,
Yeah, I'll send it.
Travis, your Groundhog Day card arrived yesterday, by the way.
mm,
Thank you.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's
So,
Groundhog.
star of the show.
It could be next.
Brace yourselves, royalties in the room.
I'm sorry. Did you say racist self?
Ta-da! No, I said royalty in the room.
He is black and white.
Ta-da!
Toei, I could name him Nalf Rortham. That'd be okay. Nalf Rortham.
A mouth orphan.
A mouth orphan. That's what you call the sperm from a blowjob. Mouth orphans.
Isn't it extraordinary how people get into public office like to help you make your life better, and then bit by bit they slowly start taking your rights away. And I just haven't figured out how they're going to make money at this, because money is the ultimate. I just haven't figured that out. I read a big article on Venezuela and how they took their guns away.
I can tell you
and
how.
Caracas. So
They're making money because
What's that?
somebody offered them money to pass these laws. They're not making money off the law. They're making money before the law or because the law was passed. It's called lobbying.
somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's a case, either that or it becomes a case of, well, here's something that used to be your right that we took away from you, but we'll let you do it for a fee.
It's possible.
Yeah.
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 Anybody
who used to be able to do this 10 years ago, now you want to do it, that'll be a license, which you're
Yeah.
required to have this paperwork for. We need this proof. We need to know where you live, all this information. That's where the money lies. Getting
Ding,
you
ding,
to pay
ding,
for something
ding,
you used to have a
ding.
right for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not right, Fred. Hey, you're not right.
So is this when we get to talk about Brexit?
If you think this is an unfair system, raise your paw.
We get to talk about what?
Brexit. That's happening Friday.
No,
I noticed. I noticed he raised his right paw.
That's
A little straight arm going there, little
Mention
Fred.
Brexit. Put him up. Take it down. I swear.
This is the big mean cat that he has. Okay, this is true.
Normally.
Toei says, a poem. Republicans are red, Democrats are blue. None of them give a crap about you. And Trin is heading off to bed. Good to see you. Thank you. I will tell her I said hi. Love you too,
Trin.
sweetie. And come back and say hello again. And change that password so you remember it.
Nighty night.
Good night. Sleep well.
There we go. Oh, there we go. Are you drinking beer out of a paper cup?
Coffee cup.
I'm not
Coffee
judging.
is the best reward.
Says the beer.
It sure is. Tomorrow will be a long day of coffee. Today,
Have a beer in a coffee
I'll
cup.
give you guys
sporting.
something.
Go ahead, Ed.
come on, give it to us, Ed.
I'll give
Emma,
you
give
guys
it to
something
me,
else
Ed.
to laugh about. Okay.
Yeah, you will. Let's do it. I'm ready.
We just
Here we go.
hired a new guy at work. That's his last name. I just put it in the.
Oh,
You know
that's
I fucked that up,
awesome.
right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
fucked that all to hell for 2 days.
On purpose.
I can't say that word.
Well, the first syllable is use. The second syllable is a wife who doesn't stop harping on her husband.
I know it, but I can't say it.
No, that's not how it came out of my mouth.
How do you say it?
Yes, nigga.
Slow- Oh, no. Oh, my God. When this show started, I don't know what TV show was on. There's a TV catty corner to me, and I was watching it, and it was a show with like lots of little pretty skinny women running around. And then at some point in the show, they all donned football gear and were running with the football around a football field. And we're on the show. I was thinking, I'm like, man, I'd fucking rule that game. Oh. It'd be like high school all over again. I came out of nowhere, sorry, but I was watching it like, yeah.
And you'd probably get a couple dates if you wanted them from that. From either side, really.
Just little women bleeding.
Or big men going, can I introduce you to my ex?
Sorry. Ed, what else happened, Ed? Tell us it.
I'm done.
I'll tackle you if you tackle her.
I'm coming for you.
Aggressive look. Sorry, I'm watching the. Okay, so we got 20 minutes left. Or 30 minutes. God damn it.
I would like to make one comment.
Yes,
though.
please.
We did have that big a gun rally on Monday. Was it last week?
Monday a week ago.
Just
Yeah, we did.
We had that big meeting, and everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people showed up armed to the teeth. I saw photos of one gentleman who had a 50 caliber long-range rifle, holding it like this, smiling, and two black gentlemen with guns next to him, and they're all smiling, taking a picture. And the meme was, "Worst white supremacists ever."
Yeah. Yep.
My point is, at the rally, nothing happened. Everyone
Nothing
was
happened.
peaceful.
Yeah,
Everything got
but
along.
Approximately
Antifa didn't
30,000
show up.
people fully armed to the teeth, and
Yeah.
nothing.
Fully
happened.
armed. I mean, a huge weaponry, like here and here and here. Nothing.
I had one friend. I actually posted that picture you were just speaking of, and he responded to it. He said, "For one day in our history, Richmond, Virginia, was the safest place in America to be."
I might not be
Yeah,
wrong.
it just goes against the adage that, people say more guns, more violence. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. It'd make society a little more polite. or better shot. I'm not sure which.
There is a who was it? Was it Asimov or was it Heinlein that said an armed society is a polite society?
I think it was asthma.
It is one of our great sci-fi grandfathers. It's yeah, that is a debatable thing. And I'm now as the British guy, what do you think there, Kev?
On well, the gun thing, it was quite intriguing. It's come through to the British media, and also obviously I've seen it because of you guys and a few other Americans I know who not from Virginia but have posted about it. It was quite weird to see the reporting on it because it seemed to be very bipolar.
Go on.
On the one hand, here's this huge gun rally, so many people, all of these weapons, nothing happened. And then on the other side, nothing's supposed to happen. Why are you giving yourself a pat on the back for not killing somebody? People taking the piss with comments like Virginia hosts the biggest cosplay event ever. Things like that.
Yeah, but you know what?
As an outsider looking in, it's quite intriguing. You know, I'm not quite sure how it would pan across for a British example. You know, like, I don't know, catapult rally.
This is going to seem weird, but this is what I thought was the coolest thing to come out of it when it was all over and done. They cleaned up their own trash. We don't see that here.
Yeah, especially at cosplay events.
Oh, and I loved how Antifa was nowhere to be seen.
Wait, is that Queen
Nothing
Latifah's
was
sister?
damaged. Nothing. That's what Antifa does. They show up and they destroy things. Nobody was there. Huh. Be held accountable to your actions, and people behave. Like a classroom. But anyway, let's not go there. Let's talk about something else.
I just want to call you out on that bullshit, Elizabeth. We don't hold people in classrooms accountable for their actions anymore. I mean, we hold the teacher, but not the children.
Well, I had a thought today in the car. I said, imagine if parents were held accountable for their children's grades. And maybe not in a detrimental way, but maybe in a positive way. Like maybe if your child, I don't know the answer to this, but what if we supported it? Maybe if your child got on the honor roll, there was a positive reimbursement or payoff to your family. Maybe if you're, and do things that way instead of always focusing on the negative, the children misbehaving, the children who can't control themselves, rewarding the positive. And I yield to my fellow associate.
If this is the case, I'd immediately like to claim credit for my incredibly intelligent daughter who found out today that she's been accepted for university. From a starting field of 2,000 applicants, they went down to I think 410 interviews for 80 places on the course, and she found out today that she's in.
Well done.
So she's
well
gonna,
done to her.
So, yeah,
and a little
my
done.
daughter's
Well
gonna
done.
be a mid. She's going to be a midwife.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where's she
What
going?
a shame.
Where's she attending?
It'd be Bournemouth University, but she'd be based at Southampton Hospital, which is just across the water from me.
Oh, what is she studying?
Yeah.
Midwifery.
Wow, cheers. Wow.
My
Congratulations.
My goddaughter is studying midwifery.
It was Heinlein.
Heinlein,
You
thank
said
you.
that, Robert A. Heinlein.
In reference
Well,
to
according to the internet.
Elizabeth's other thing there about, perhaps a family would be positively given some good shit for their kids doing well. We could also go the other way. And if your kid is shit or misbehaves in school, the guy with the bent nose shows up and breaks the parent's legs.
Sometimes it's not always.
That will work too.
Sometimes the kids are assholes, not due to the parents.
Well, that is true.
Is she here?
She is.
Here?
I just haven't called her.
Here.
Kennedy, how you been? Been a while since I've seen you, man. Would you care to join us?
What up, Kennedy?
It's, she has stepped away. She has stepped away.
I had something to tell her.
I can shout it to her, but...
Well, I'm not cheering until she comes back in the room.
Ever? Or tonight?
Man, let's see. Let's see what happens. I'm holding her accountable.
I'm not cheering ever again unless she comes back in the room.
I'm making.
Did
We're not
Elizabeth,
talking.
did Elizabeth just said she's naked? Because she's not yet.
Underneath my clothes.
Hmm. Can you guys carry
I
the...
can be. It won't take long.
Can I step away for a moment while you guys talk about things? I'll be right back. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll even mute
What's up,
myself.
Kennedy? Good to see you back, bro. Oh yeah, we were closed down for what, 2 or 3 months, guys, and work got in the way with Kevin and I, and I'm not sure what got in the way with Elizabeth. She was probably around, but nobody else was around, so yeah, we had to shut down for a little while. But we're back.
I'm
We're
Oh,
back.
yeah.
We're bad.
badder
mean
than
it.
ever. Armed to the teeth
Oh.
with wit, crude, lewd, and lascivious. That's what we should just. That's it. That's what we're gonna be.
Hi,
Free
lady
puss-
skipper.
Free pussy.
I want to touch your pussy.
I don't hear that often.
Well, shame on you. You should. Oh, look at
Usually
that
me get in
kid.
trouble for saying that.
You don't care, do you, Fred?
It's a good boy. My kitty's got all stressed this morning when we put down huge, enormous bowls of food.
Mm.
And bowls
And they're like,
flying.
oh, you're going somewhere.
All these
If I put an
suitcases were out.
Fred wouldn't do that. If I put down an enormous bowl of food, he would just look at me and go, finally. There better be another one of these in 6 hours.
My other cats, I would have gotten home. The little black one would have eaten everything and just been trying to breathe, playing on the floor.
Fred's living up to his name at the moment.
Oh.
Those of you who haven't met Fred before, Fred is actually short for Freddy Krueger. With good reason.
You know, Ed, that story about Jackson, I don't. Now every time I see someone with a cane, I'm worried they're gonna.
I've never heard that story before.
I
and
haven't
thought,
either. Yeah.
I was like, oh man, cool. 67 years old he was too when he did that. It's like,
He probably like opened it, brought out
Yeah,
the sword.
I've said this for years. I genuinely cannot wait until I'm old enough to legitimately carry a stick in public.
I carry one every day.
Besides the one in your pants. All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about one I'm allowed to use to beat small children. So.
Well, and settle down now.
Yeah, let's not go there. Yeah. Shh, Fred.
Bad friend, bad friend. That's funny right there. That's funny. I would have liked to seen that. I would have liked to seen a party when he was inducted into office, and everybody just had a rager on the lawn in the
had a
White
rage
House.
around.
Right. And then fast forward to that moment where that guy tries to kill him and he's just kicking his butt with that cane. That would have been beautiful. So you don't hear that in history. Everyone whitewashes history, cleans it like, everyone was perfect. All these politicians. No, they were just people as screwed up as you and I. Sometimes even worse. One of my favorite T-shirts I wear is it looks like a wood carving of the Cheshire Cat, and the quote under it is, "We're all mad here." And it's just to remind people, we're all.
Toy
Go ahead,
says
Ed,
there were lots of cane fights in Congress of old. I have heard of cane fights in Congress, but I hadn't heard that story about Jackson before. Can you imagine a president today? No.
Well, his Secret Service, you wouldn't need to. I heard that they got into fisticuffs in the Senate because it helped get them votes. It helped when they go home. Well, I fought for you, and
She's here. She's here.
There's my cheer.
I only had 2 words to say to you. That's why I wanted you here. Hey, sexy.
You gotta put the headphones on.
We can't hear her.
You gotta put the headphones on. Where are they? Find them. There they are, right in front of you. Come on, Prince. Oh, they're on. Oh, you're
Yeah.
muted. You're
He
muted.
muted, probably.
Can you hear me now?
Good
Can you hear?
night, Jewel.
Can you hear me now?
Hold on a second.
You can do it.